What's going on, y'all? What's going on, gamers? So we got some interesting news here in the PlayStation world. There's a document that people have between a contract between Sony Intel and Sony and AMD and why they will win AMD. You see right here, PS6 is already deep in development, backwards compatibility of high importance. So we're gonna get into that. And what do they mean by backwards compatibility? Do they just mean PS5 games being able to be boosted day one? Yeah, obviously, we know that. But people are wondering, are you going to go the route of Microsoft and try to make every single game all the way back to older PS games? Be able to do like that AK60 they were talking about and all this other stuff, because obviously PS6 will be that when it comes out. It'll have the technology on top of like TVs, being more affordable in the market for that type of resolution, which we know there'll also be other types of things, like with the PSRR getting better and all this other stuff. But them saying right here backwards compatibility is of high importance says a lot, and we're going to find out eventually what do they mean by that to the deepest degree, rather than just knowing that it obviously is going to be backwards compatible with PS5, but that's the number one most important thing, obviously. So if you see right here, it says Intel lost chip manufacturing contract. Let's go down. By the way, y'all like, subscribe, you like this type of content. I've been bringing you all types of news, controversies, high quality video game content, all types of stuff. So there'll be stuff on this channel. That's a button. Appreciate it, y'all. Sony is already hard at work on the PS6. A Reuters article has revealed. The exclusive report delves into the story of Intel and how it allegedly lost the contract to manufacture chips for the next gen machine. Talks between the two tech giants purportedly took place in 2022, with AMD ultimately winning the lucrative deal. That didn't mean they grabbed the parts there, but they're trying to say, look, these are kind of like the blueprints we want to do. You know what I mean? Because you got to get into that first. While the article focuses heavily on the impact to Intel, it does reveal that backwards compatibility is of enormous importance to PlayStation. We're in that digital era, of course, you got to move everything across. Moving from AMD, which made the PS5 chip, to Intel would have risked backwards compatibility, which is a subject of discussion between Intel and Sony engineers and executives, the sources said. So we see that apparently if Sony had selected Intel, it would have been costly and taken engineering resources. That means they would have had to like work a lot harder to get that backwards compatibility to work, because it's not so easy to, translate right over when you have the same AMD aspects. They're already used to that, so it's just not a good deal. To ensure backwards compatibility, making AMD a much more appropriate partner. PlayStation also disagreed with Intel on price. We know Intel's like NVIDIA, right? They want that premium price, and they have delivered for the longest time, so you can't really get mad at them because they do deliver, just like NVIDIA, so you can expect that. But AMD has improved big time. With the Californian company wanting to take a greater profit off or on each chip sold. Discussions allegedly occurred over a period of months. So they were really thinking about that and seeing, man, should I go for this highest quality? Should we find that quality with AMD and make an easier transition for backwards compatibility? And they made the right choice. Because AMD, like I said, they're good. And if you got the right coders and stuff, and people are like starting all those other people, you're going to be fine. And involved CEOs, dozens of engineers, and many other high profile executives. In the end, Sony selected AMD to manufacture the chip for the PlayStation 6, which is now presumably deep in development. While the next gen console is currently unannounced, we expect it to be officially revealed in 2026 or 2027. We're going to get into that in a second. And this is about them revealing the Pro and all that, which we know is a GPU upgrade, and it matches y'all in RTX 4060. So let me be honest with y'all. When they came up with like that 30 something teraflops, they were trying to add in like the ray tracing manipulation times four with all the other nonsense. But like if you just look at it in general, it's like, okay, we can do the same thing on PC then. Then I can make my 4070 have like 50, 60 teraflops, though it's like 30 something, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, if you want to do that and try to make it seem like it's going to match a GPU card on PC, then I could just do the same manipulation you do on my card on PC. Then you're still going to be at the same disadvantage. So just stop manipulating people and tell the truth. But going over here, Xbox and PlayStation don't expect to launch new consoles until at least 2028. These were the documents revealed when they were at court with the Activision deal. So we know, I would say that it could be a possibility that it could be 2027 late, depending on, because 8 years for consoles a cycle. I mean, that doesn't happen too often anymore, but you never know. It is possible. Usually it's 7 now, but hey, that's what the document says. So we got to go off of that for now. So going down, it says indeed the next new generation of consoles are not expected to be released before the fall of 2028 at the very earliest. And this is what they said in that court document. So yeah, that says a lot about how long they want this generation to last. Plus, there were some delays with the COVID nonsense, and a lot of things got pushed back. So I think they wanted that extra year. And to me, that kind of makes sense because like some people felt like the next gen didn't even begin, even when it did come out. Like there was just so much delays, and it was like, man, we haven't even got to experience this like we wanted to. And you know, in a way, it kind of still did feel like last gen in a lot of ways, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people can attest to that. That's why you got a lot of people moving to PC too, because they're like, right now when it comes to PlayStation and Xbox, it's kind of disappointing in a lot of ways. Jim Ryan threw Sony on the gas mania, delayed Naughty Dog's game. Naughty Dog tried to gas, they got canceled. So many PlayStation studios got pushed back. Games got pushed back into next year. Just so much was delayed on top of like that COVID mania. Nintendo was the only one that did very well and benefited and are playing their cards very right. But in the Sony and Microsoft world, you could see things probably getting way better starting again. Because last year was amazing, but once again, it's third party. But next year, I guarantee you, next year is going to be insane because you're going to have Nintendo with their new console, all their amazing video games, Sony coming out with a lot more first party games, and then Microsoft's investments and monopolizing, just flourishing and coming out too. So expect 2025 to be an insane year of gaming, probably one of the best of all time. It's going to be blooming from all three, and including PC, of course, too, because PC is doing well too and growing every single day. So expect that. But I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Uh, you know, comment. And like I said, if you guys really wanted to know some things about the Pro and stuff, I'll tell you guys simply because I've done the comparisons myself. I have a PC, I have all the consoles. I know how specs work. The GPU is trying to match an RTX 4060. You see, it can't even get close to a 4070 because they don't have the CPU to even do that. It's the same CPU. That's why they didn't tell you anything about that. That's why they're trying to use AI upscaling with PSSR and trying to get closer to NVIDIA's DLSS. It's not going to, but it's still going to be nice. Think of it as like a more optimized version of FSR 3.1. The thing with that too is that they don't have to wait on AMD to release things. They could just work on their own version. And that's nice because that saves some time. And that's going to be a major boost to first party and second party games because when it comes to third party, you still have to rely off of them to give you patches and all that other stuff. Whereas with your own games and in house, it's going to help out big time. So that's where PSSR can make a little bit of um, oomph and improvement to make up room for not having a better processor, but it still is going to be heavily locked because there's a lot of games this generation that are starting to be heavy CPU. And that's just because that's just the way it's working. It's not like last gen where a lot of things are more GPU bound. No, now it's CPU bound. If you look at Unreal Engine 5, and I'm going to help you guys out here because I tell this to people all the time. Unreal Engine 5, CPU heavy. You'll see it. Yes, Unreal Engine 5 is CPU heavy and requires a good CPU to run effectively. Let's look at like even the recent other games. It's not just Unreal Engine 5 games, guys. It's games in general because they're hyper detailed. You're going to need the speed to run all those visuals. And it's just going to start getting crazy. So don't expect a huge jump with the Pro if you were thinking about that. For example, Warhammer, Space Marine 2, which I have, I love. CPU heavy. And I can do this for a lot of games. Space Marine 2, high CPU usage. Space Marine 2, GPU, CPU usage. If you keep going down, you're going to realize like it's heavy CPU. Multiple Ryzen CPU threads, CPU heavy. You'll just start to see that. But GPU is still like obviously using a lot of the resources, but it's just the demand is going to start popping up more for these modern games with hyper details. But the Pro to me is welcome for exclusive games I can't get anywhere else because where else am I going to play them? So that's the best experience that I have on the market, if it's only on console or an exclusive there. Otherwise, straight third party, I'm playing on PC. But that's what I wanted to cover. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good day, evening, morning, wherever you're at around the world, night. Peace out, y'all.